Charlamagne the God just made another attempt to take down Akademiks on behalf of Rock Nation, but he failed miserably at it. And because he's really bad at what he does, I don't think Charlamagne the God is good at hit pieces. I think Charlamagne the God is a really great commentator. But when it comes to getting in the field and spreading a narrative or spreading an agenda or just outright lying on somebody, he's really bad at it, even though he keeps attempting it week after week. A couple of days ago, Akademiks publicly called out Charlamagne the God for being compromised. The tweet is currently on your screen. Akademiks said that Charlamagne the God was a shill for Rock Nation, that Charlamagne the God, Rock Nation, and others are considered evil in his book. So those were like some pretty strong words and probably the strongest condemnation that I think Akademiks has ever thrown towards Charlamagne the God's way. So Charlamagne the God responded back on his podcast this week, rightfully so. He has the right to respond back. But his response was a direct contradiction to everything he has said over the last couple of weeks, which takes away from his own credibility.
Akademiks says, it hurt my heart watching my hip-hop media idol Charlamagne spit Rock Nation talking points. I'm speechless. I was proud of Joe Budden, though. At least he not on script, even though he def love him some Hove. The rest of y'all shills, I don't care. Y'all voices ain't loud enough. Rock Nation finna pull a political alignment this year. They got all their puppets working hard. They calling any criticism smear campaigns. Do not be fooled. These people are evil. I'm telling you, This don't have nothing to do with smear campaigns. This has to do with crypto and these betting markets, and that's the actual issue that everybody should be worried about. Y'all focused on the wrong things. If y'all think that this is people coming at, these pages because of criticism.
This is so dishonest. It's so cowardly, and this actually proves everything Akademiks said in that tweet. This exact statement right here you just heard proves that Charlamagne the God is a Rock Nation shill. Let me explain. Charlamagne the God is now saying that Akademiks and Grand Wizard, they're being investigated for crypto and Polymarket finagling, and this has nothing to do with what they post on Twitter or smear campaigns. That's because the narrative now that was going out there was Rock Nation is trying to silence Akademiks TV, Akademiks and George Wynn, aka Grand Wizard, because they're posting pro-Drake things and they're posting anti-Rock Nation things. Once that narrative was starting to get too loud now, Charlamagne the God was to blame for that narrative, right? Because Charlamagne the God was the one who came out and essentially confirmed that Akademiks TV, Akademiks, George Wynn are being investigated for essentially posting opinions on their Twitter account. So because he's responsible for the narrative not being out there that Jay-Z, Rock Nation is trying to silence these people for posting things they don't like, Charlamagne now had to come back and correct the record. Let me remind you guys of what Charlamagne the God initially said.
Now, I don't know if I texted him before this or after, but I do remember when I saw this, I said, oh shoot, let me hear that. Because what came across our desk was the same information, but not that. It just was like this spreadsheet that was like, yo, DJ Akademiks takes money from music people and media people and, political people. And also they take money to spread false narratives about folks, like do these smear campaigns and things of that nature.
Y'all are terrible liars. Why is Charlamagne the God now saying that what's going on with Akademiks and Grand Wizard Chat Ninja has nothing to do with smear campaigns, have nothing to do with taking money to post things, have nothing to do with taking money to endorse political candidates? Why is he now saying that when he initially said that this magical spreadsheet just showed up on his desk? He don't know who put it on his desk, but this magical spreadsheet just showed up on his desk, and this spreadsheet said Akademiks was being investigated for taking money to run smear campaigns against people with the help of George Wynn, aka Grand Wizard Chat Ninja, and that they was taking money to endorse political candidates. He even says that he called DJ Akademiks to warn Akademiks that the people on his team was snitching on him to investigators and telling the investigators that they were taking their marching orders for all the posts they made from DJ Akademiks.
Whatever. The reason I called Ak, and Ak said, I think that he asked me who was behind it, and I said I couldn't tell him. That's not true. I said I don't know, but I would find out. But what I did tell him was that these three individuals, Carson McCoy, another guy named Alex Ocha, and George Nguyen. How you pronounce it, Chris? It's a Vietnamese name.
Nguyen. Nguyen is the closest, yeah.
George Nguyen. He's that's Grand Wizard Chat. And he is from Australia. What we were told was the Carson kid and George were getting investigated, got pressed by investigators, and cooperated.
No, not Grandy.
And told
No,
and
not Grandy.
said that they get their marching orders from Akademiks and Drake. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's not true. I'm just
Grandy's Vietnamese?
You even said this magical spreadsheet told you that Akademiks and Drake were the one who owned Akademiks TV, and Grand Wizard and others were going at people and running smear campaigns against people on behalf of Drake and Akademiks TV, who are the owners of this page. So when you initially came out, everything you said was about smear campaigns. But once the conversation pivoted from, oh, they're being attacked and they're being investigated, and people are popping out of, like George Wynn's house, and they're showing up at his house and they're stalking him and they're doxing him over things he's posting on Twitter. Once you understood like the implications of exactly what you were supporting and getting behind, now your entire tone has switched up. Your entire tone has switched up to protect Rock Nation. Now it's, oh, this has nothing to do with smear campaigns. Oh, they're crazy. This is, no. This has something to do with crypto. Charlamagne the God came on that podcast and said that George Wynn, Akademiks, and others are being investigated for manipulating Polymarkets. And you're about to understand how stupid that is in like 60 seconds.
That stuff that I just, basically what I read in the Inverse article is in the Wall Street Journal article, but this is what I found interesting. It says, they have a section where it says insider influencers, Polymarket and Virality is the Clipper site, right?
Yeah.
Targeted dozens of videos by Aiden Ross, a 25-year-old manosphere phenom with millions of followers for promotion. Ross has a multi-million-dollar deal with Polymarket, according to a person familiar with the negotiations, and he averages a half hour per week on his live stream, scrolling through Polymarket and commenting on potential trades. In at least 5 of the videos, Ross identified ways he could use inside information to trade on the platform. In one video targeted for promotion, Ross said he could easily use inside information to trade on the release date of a forthcoming album from the hip-hop artist Drake, who is Ross's acquaintance.
Right, that's what I read.
Representatives for Ross and Drake declined to comment. Smart men. Very smart men. People, George, you can learn a lot from Drake and Aiden Ross. It is okay to shut the up, all right? Internal materials show that Polymarket and Virality promote videos showing how easy it is to conduct insider trades on the platform. Polymarket has paid Clippers to promote at least 19 videos discussing opportunities to use inside information or other tactics to manipulate markets. Polymarket said it prohibits trading based on stolen information, illegal tips, or information obtained in breach of a duty of trust, confidentiality, or other legal obligation. It added that Polymarket's market integrity framework includes trade monitoring, on-chain transparency, reporting channels, and escalation processes to detect, review, and respond to suspicious activity. Where appropriate, we engage with regulators and law enforcement to support the integrity of our markets. Why did I read all of that? I read all of that because
You're petty.
no, it came to my attention on Shebang. Okay, you know Shebang, everybody's hot, wiping themselves off. Okay, maybe they're sweating because the heat is on, right? I don't know. But in Shebang, Drake says, shorty keep asking to date. She's trying to finesse Polymarket for bread.
That makes zero sense whatsoever. This is Charlamagne the God now trying to control the narrative because he understood he messed up, because he made this about smear campaigns. He made this about clipping, right? Because he understood he sounded silly. He sounded really old. He sounded antiquated. And he sounded like this angry, like weird, crazy old man when he was out here screaming, oh, they're running clipping pages. Clipping is illegal. No, it's not. So now it's about Polymarkets, but Grand Wizard Chat Ninja is with Stake. Stake is not a Polymarket. Akademiks is with Stake. Stake is not a Polymarket. Drake is with Stake is not a Polymarket. Stake is like a sweepstakes like casino. If you like, even if you want to call it that, and even that definition don't really fit them specifically. So, what are we talking about here? None of the people that you're claiming this is about, none of them are signed to Polymarkets. Not Grand Wizard, not Ak. What are you talking about here? But Charlamagne the God tries to repivot this conversation away from free speech, away from smear campaigns, because he understood he said too much. He understood that he revealed, oh, Rock Nation got investigators popping out of George Wynn's house, stalking him and doxing him, right? Like Rock Nation is calling depositions on Grand Wizard and Akademiks TV employees to figure out who's running what. So Rock Nation got an attack on free speech. He understands what he did. So now he's back trying to clean it up, claiming this has nothing to do with like smear campaigns and free speech.
And by the way, there's a thin line between criticism and defamation too. So you also got to always walk that line as well. So I don't know what all of these lawsuits y'all got are about, but I know 5 of them, according to the Wall Street Journal and InverseWire.com, got to do with crypto. And then I start seeing the Wall Street Journal and Inverse Wire and you getting served and they're saying that you're part of some multinational crypto ring. It all starts to add up to me. Let's have the conversation. Because I don't want to see any of y'all talking about, people are getting paid to support and defend folks. Because the reality is, you have an OVO chain. So you're supporting and defending Drake because you feel like Drake should be higher on this Billboard top 50 songs thing. And by the way, I might can agree with that. Like I don't think Jay-Z's Roots Picnic freestyle should have been on there because it's not a song. But you jumped out the window defending that. I don't want to hear about none of that. I want to hear about this. Talk to me about your boy Grand Wizard being mentioned and all of this crypto. But I'll say this. No, for real. Let's have the conversation. After I see you.
Do you actually mean that though? Because, not with George. Would you have a convo with George?
With No. I don't know. I don't know. Why do I need to have a conversation with George when I have a conversation with
Because y'all.
I don't want to talk to the puppet.
Yeah,
No, I need to know who the puppet master is. Which one is the puppet or the puppet master? What came first, the Akademiks TV or the Akademiks?
Whoa.
I'm just asking questions. I need to know. I want to know.
So you and Ak need to have a conversation.
Yes. I mean, we did. We had a 2.5 hour conversation. I thought we were very clear. And we talked after that.
Apparently, it don't seem like clear.
Well,
It don't seem like clear.
Listen, man.
And we don't need this.
Man.
This is messy.
What is messy?
This is messy.
Alex, none of this is messy.
I mean,
I gave Ak a heads up on some stuff.
Yeah.
And now this stuff is coming to a head. And I think it's going to get worse.
It looks like it.
I think
I tried to give him a heads up too, and he knows I did.
Charlamagne is a boomer. He's really old. So I don't know if Charlamagne guys knows this, but Charlamagne, crypto is not illegal. You understand this, right? But also, too, like, you're not slick enough to switch up the narratives. You started off with the smear campaigns, and they're being paid to push narratives and agendas. Once you realize that narrative ain't going to hit how you think it's going to hit, and it actually backfired on Rock Nation, now Charlamagne the God is back with this other agenda that completely separates Rock Nation from what's going on, and it's not going to work. Now, Akademiks would also say that Charlamagne the God actually blocked his personal Instagram page. So, like Charlamagne is acting unbothered while being bothered at the same time. Now, Akademiks would also kind of issue a similar sentiment as me. He would say that Charlamagne the God is trying to be slick, right? Like he's like mixing and matching various things. He came out initially with his initial accusation, which is they're being paid by politicians to post things. Once Akademiks debunked that, once they debunked the free speech thing, now Charlamagne the God is back with a separate set of accusations. So now it feels like, oh, you're not hearing this from nobody, right? You're just making up your own stuff, which you could have just said in the first place instead of now like trying to hide behind, hey, somebody told me this, bro, I'm just warning you. No, you're not just warning him, because now you're doing your own accusations, because your initial accusation was about smear campaigns. Now, Ak believes that Charlamagne the God is just doing whatever he can do to try to scare Grand Wizard or himself, but it's not working whatsoever.
Yo, by the way, I love Charlamagne, but Charlamagne ain't slick, bro. Yo, Charlamagne called me, this is dead ass facts. Charlamagne called me and said, Ak, yo, this is cause, some going on, cause your man's is taking money from politics. So now I'm like, what's politics? Let's look into politics. Like, is my man's doing nothing with politics? That was a lie, right? Oh, we got the documents, the proof of the numbers. That was Rumble. You see how they switched off of that, right? Like, there's no more politics, right? After the politics, they started saying botted streams. Why? Because there's a bunch of Fugazi lawsuits that's claiming Aiden Ross and Stake is botting Drake streams. Does that even make sense? After they have zero proof of that, and Drake Iceman is given belt to ass, they don't mention that now. They switched off of that. What's the new talking points? All right, so think about it. And this is why I'm watching Charlamagne. I'm like, bro, you done switch the goal of this like investigation. Oh, then another thing. Listen, what criminal investigation gives Charlamagne the God the information? Like, yo, what detective is like, yo, we're doing a crackdown, the criminal conspiracy crackdown. We have the investigators in the white trucks outside of Grand Wizard's house. All right, send the pictures to Charlamagne. Come on, bro. Like, yo, let's get, yo.
And it's sad, bro, because you sit back like, Charlamagne, like, yo, act your mans, bro. Yo, act your homie, bro. What you doing ain't cool. Like, what you doing ain't right. Like, it's not right, yo. Like, yo, you try to bust a play, you try to bust a move. The play ain't work. Let it go. But you being upset that your manipulation and your plays ain't work, so now you're coming back. So now you're just now the creator of the narrative. You started off saying, hey, bro, I'm just warning you, bro. They telling me, nah, bro. The play was to spook Act, get Act to kind of like cut off the Akademiks TV page and shut it down because they've been giving his homies hell, Rock Nation hell. So now you're now the creator of the narrative now. Now it went from, oh, these people told me this to, oh, yo, I read this lawsuit and this lawsuit and this lawsuit. And I think, man, all right, man, come on, bro. Yo, anybody who thinks that Charlamagne a God is giving any type of information that's useful in regards to Grand Wizard and Akademiks, you are just a fool as well. But this ain't cool, Charlamagne, bro. Like, you got to go to bed at night, man. Like, you got to look yourself in that mirror, bro. Is this really worth it, homie? Like doing this to your homie, bro? Your homie? Yo, I don't know what type of aspirations he got, bro, but it got to be something crazy, man. Because this man going against, like, his own, bro. Like, his seed, right? Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here, somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen to find out. Problem in the culture is getting a lot crazier. It's getting a whole lot worse, and we need to find a way to contain it ASAP. I'm going to see you guys in this Jay-Z video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.